I think that we're in a time where, you know, we really can't trust anybody with information about regarding your health or vaccinations or pandemic and all of this crap. And your president saying one thing, your health professionals are saying another. And, you know, there's so many opposing opinions that you don't know who to listen to. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You know.
So I roll with my herbalist. I take a couple of medications, pharmaceuticals for my blood pressure, because the things that the herbalist, and I've spoken to a few, don't seem to work to keep it in a range of normal or what is normal.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so you know, and I've been doing that on a regular now for a few years. And I had one of those online visits with my care provider, my medical care provider, online, and that was okay with me. They were trying to talk me into things that I don't want, or asking. They don't. She's gotten to know me. I've been going there now since last summer. I switched providers, and I don't want a colonoscopy. I don't want a flu shot. I don't want a pneumonia shot. I don't want a COVID-19 shot either. And I feel fine.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you do have to go. That's for me is the most important part, is staying connected. And the trouble is when you are oftentimes committing yourself and your energies and your thought process to what other people have going on, what other people are thinking about, what you have going on, what you have to accomplish. You know, your thoughts are always quite often on something else happening outside of you. And so I've grown over the years to become very, very selfish with my thoughts. And I quite often am intentional about always really thinking about how I'm feeling, what's going on in my body. Am I feeling achy? Is there anything that's tense? How is my breathing? You know, am I feeling any anxiety? Do I feel as if am I starting to feel as if things are not within control? Am I starting to feel like I need help? You know, when I get to those places, I have to really be intentional. I guess the word is, I use that word a lot because it's really easy to focus on everything that's going on. It's really easy to focus and you scroll through Facebook, you go through a matter of 1,000 emotions in a minute, because you're seeing anything from, RIP this person, to a meme that's funny, to a video that's inspiring. You're left with all of these what's the word, all of these kind of I don't know, just lingering feelings that are always force you to be focused on something outside of yourself. And so to be intentional about what you have going on. Hey, how's it going?
Hello, I'm all right. How are you?
I'm okay. But to really be considering self-care and what you have going on, it's going to be the important part, you know. And I think that's where we are. Hi, how's
Hello,
your,
I'm
how's
well,
yours
thank
been?
you. I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
What is this? Sorry, are we in the right place?
I'm not sure. What were you coming and hanging out for?
I've come to talk about credit cards and financial stuff.
No, this isn't the right place. I'm sorry.
Oh,
What is this? Sorry.
it says financial literacy.
Oh, right. So yeah, so well this court what we're doing here is working as like grassroots community leaders, working to try to develop a program for communities that are interested in trying to learn more about financial literacy.
Oh,
So
that's so
ones
good.
who don't have extensive finance background or
So
banking
important.
background, and trying to figure out how do we teach them and share with them, how are we connecting with people, how are we creating the networks that we need to really be empowering folks that aren't in the best social economic situation.
I often think about how important it is, like teach kids about credit cards, and not just kids, the people who are less financially literate from like a young age. Credit cards.
Yeah, we were meant to join a credit card group, like a credit card call. I think this is it.
No, not a credit card call. Definitely not that one.
Oh,
But
Do
but
you, come.
yeah, where did you find the link at?
Oh, we found it on the. There's there's a company called the Credit Card Company in the UK. They
yeah.
do like credit card comparisons and like financial health checks, and like they do
Just advice, like.
yeah, advice. It's like an advice website that we're a part of. They like give you advice on like consumer protection law, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's called Money Saving Expert by Martin Lewis. Sorry.
So tell me more. What have you learned about this credit card process from this particular organization that you're connected to?
Well, we were learning the basics, so now we've learned the basics of what a credit card is compared to a debit card, compared to like a charge card.
Can you go into detail?
Absolutely. So a debit card is linked to your bank account, and it comes straight from your bank account. And when you buy something with a debit card, so you've always got the money. But a credit card is sort of like it's a loan, so it comes from the credit card company the money, and you pay that back either partly every month or in full.
I see. So other than just the credit and things like that, do they teach you about rates? And I know there's certain rates that are associated with credit cards.
Yeah, like
I'm
APRs.
right. What does APR stand for again? Do you know?
It stands for annual percentage. I don't know the rest.
Okay.
I know what it means.
Yeah. So tell me what it means to you, because I'm just trying to because I'm trying to learn too.
Oh, it means to me it's let's say let's say your APR is 20%, and you've got £100 in your credit card. Over the course of 1 year, they will charge you in interest 20% of that £100, so £20. So in the end, you'll owe them £120.
Got it. So and then the thing is, so that's how I guess that's how credit cards earn their money back, right? So you use the money because it's like free money up front, and then because you have that money up front, they charge you a rate, it'll kind of and like interest, right? Got it. Nice. Yeah, that's really. I'm glad you stopped in.
Is
I was
is that a good rate? The example you just gave, is that a good rate for where you are?
It's normal. It's pretty good. Sometimes you
Normal?
get 23%, maybe lower up to about 18%. over 24 is getting high. Is getting
I think that here depends on your credit rating, because 20% here is high. You know, it's like people have like anywhere from 5 to 9% if they have good credit. You know, when you go above that, that's usually there's
the
something kind of.
reason why that is in the USA, credit card companies earn a lot more money per transaction. They earn about 2%. So for every purchase you make, let's say you're in a shop and you pay for something, 2% of that entire purchase will go to the credit card company. Over here in England, only about 0.25% will go. So the margin is much higher.
Wow.
Okay.
Now that's something to definitely dig into, because I mean now we know why all of our all the businesses want to make you pay $5 minimum, which is technically, you know, not appropriate, but because of the fact that they're not getting all of that purchase, I guess, cost when you use that card swipe, then they want to make sure that you pay at least that you pay at least $5.
So in America, they can afford to give you more rewards. They can afford to give you a lower APR because for every purchase, you're giving them more money. But over here in England, there's a act called the Consumer Credit Act. It's the law, and that limits how much money credit cards are allowed to make off of companies and people.
That's
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah.
But let's say if you've got a credit card which gives you a lot of rewards, like for example, an American Express, you can often get, free you get reward points, you get tickets into like airline lounges, you get loads of things. And then in America, the list is huge of what rewards you can get, but over here it's quite small because they're just not making money.
Who do you think are bigger spenders, Americans or Brits?
Probably say Americans.
Hands down, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What makes you say that? How is that? What makes you think that?
In America, for me, it's all about size. Everyone wants like the newest thing, the biggest thing. For even cars, for example, America, everyone's got huge cars. A lot of people in America actually finance their cars as well, which we don't really do here as much. So in America, you'll pay monthly for your car, but here we just like to buy the entire car outright.
Yeah.
So we don't have loans for cars or bills.
So you, that's real interesting. So your relationship there to money overall is a lot different from the average American's relationship to money.
I think so.
We're crazy. We're crazy as shit. But it's just
one thing I've
interesting.
noticed is that in England we pay, on card for almost everything. Even like £1 worth of items in a shop, we can tap our card. I know you can do it in America, but like over here, literally everything is on card. There's very little you can do with just cash. But in America, I think a lot of people still use
carry cash
over cards.
Mm.
Like I don't think I've carried cash for about 3 years.
Wow. So electronic, that's funny because to think, just to think about the communities that we're working closely with, there are several people in the communities that we are looking to share financial literacy know-how from other people in our networks that can't get access to, debit card. I actually hired a student who was not able to get a bank account so that he can get direct deposit. I mean, I guess that he could have worked. I did something differently, worked a little harder. I don't know what his situation. I didn't pry. But just to think that there are people who just cannot get a bank or do not have a bank account for one reason or another, whether it's address, whether it's I don't know what could be a hindrance, but whatever, a social security card maybe. I'm not sure. But whatever might be a hindrance, there's going to be plenty of people who aren't going to be able to get access to a card. And if everything goes digital, and you have to tap it, what's the value of your cash going to be? You know, what's the use of those dollars going to be on hand?
Very
Do
similar
you
here.
all
Go on.
do you all even have Social Security there?
Yes, I think it works a bit differently. I think it's similar to what we'd call national insurance. So we have a national insurance number, and that's what the government uses to work out tax benefits, pensions, that sort of thing. But
Right.
it's similar here with that bank account thing. The prerequisites for a bank account is you need 2 forms of ID at least, so like a passport and a driving license, and you need proof of address. So that could be like a bill or a statement or a letter from the government with your address on it.
I don't take you too far off of what you came here for, but what is homelessness like in England?
It's quite a hot topic. It's quite a big issue. You know, a lot of the problems with that is that people, you know, they can't get an identity, they can't get a bank account, can't get a card, can't get therefore anywhere to live because they need this identity. But it's quite prevalent in the big cities. The towns are sort of like hitting back at it. Personally, I don't really know too much about it. I don't have too much experience, but it's not difficult to get yourself, let's say, for the local councils to offer you accommodation, but often that comes with, you know, a lot of rules. Sometimes you need identification. So for a lot of people, that's not plausible or viable. Especially if someone's, you know, suffering from like a drug addiction. You know, there's no way they're going to be accepted into a council accommodation because part of the rules would be you can't have drugs or be drunk, or you have to be back for curfew.
Interesting.
Wow.
I'm just asking questions because as you're talking, I'm looking at things that a lot of people are faced with here. And I've never really talked to anyone. I've known quite a few people who lived in England, you know, come by way of Jamaica or Africa or whatever, you know, and I've never really talked to anyone about, you know, some of the nuances of the culture, you know, and I just find that interesting. So when you started talking about ID, this clicked other you know, things in my head that would be very interesting because we're trying to understand how to serve people of trying to bring them up from low to moderate income into some financial literacy and some savvy of how to make the system work for them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can teach the class.
Absolutely.
Well, that's cool. I'm really glad you decided to hang by. You know, come in and swing by. We'll probably be wrapping up fairly soon, but we were
Yeah, no
also
worries.
talking about you know, in the meantime, talking about how much, I don't know, do you do any kind of work? So you did mention youth before. Do you do any kind of like social work that you know that you kind of hold dear?
Me personally, no, not really. I'm just sort of aware of these community issues from
Right.
my, you know, from my experience, from my job.
Yeah. And so always trying to you know, for folks that are, you know, well aware that might want to be able to figure out a way to engage without necessarily being as hands-on. It's like, hey, you know, I kind of live my life. I try to make sure things are okay for me, but you know, if I can help where I can, I'll do what I can. And so I think having a Zoom and hopping on is one of those ways where it's like, I might not be able to have a direct impact. I'm not going to go walk door to door, knock on any doors or anything, and get any petition signed, but at least I'll be able to share some information, you know, and this
Yeah,
is a way
absolutely.
to connect folks. And so we were also talking about, for folks that are more of the, you know, get out there door to door and type of people, how much they spend, you know, expend so much energy trying to do that, and they don't always focus on self-care and then the value of self-care. And so that was when we do these sessions, kind of like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, try to focus on developing the financial literacy part, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, be thinking about like, community culture and how we develop as a community and what's it going to take to make sure everybody's, on the same page that, and it does mean being healthy, whether from your mental health, your physical, emotional, and financial health, right? So all of those pieces matter, and that's pretty much the kind of conversations that we try to have and record so we can share with folks. And I hope it's okay that this is being recorded.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's fun.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Because I was wondering, I wonder, and the question never really crossed my mind about how an average person, would just want to talk about any of these subjects. On this side, it's hard to get people to discuss financial literacy, and in other venues, it's hard to get people to talk about homelessness or the lack of financial literacy, And so for you to hop on like that, and you haven't shown any discomfort about any topic that's come up, and I'm just appreciative of that, and I hope those doors can be opened so that we can get more understanding from a wide spectrum of people.
Yeah, it must be a culture thing, maybe.
Yes.
I think that over here, you're encouraged to get your bank account, perhaps, when you're age 15. You start your banking early. You often have a relationship with the bank quite early on, and oftentimes the banks here, offer for like free classes to children, to teach them what a bank account is, what a current account is. You'd call that a checking account. What a cash machine is, what a credit card is, what a debit card is.
So I was just speaking to a friend of mine. I've realised that this guy's a scammer, and I think you should be really careful of him. And that's all.
Which one? Who's a scammer? You?
Me,
Ian?
I'm not.
Oh, he's saying you're a scammer?
I don't know that guy.
Oh, okay. I don't know. You'll be good if you can scam me. You're good.
I'm not asking you for anything. I'm not asking you for anything. I think he's one of those Zoom bombers.
Yeah, just a troll.
Yeah, I don't need to know anything.
But, anyway, no, we're kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was just a matter of time to have a pop in because I had been, sharing the link and so forth. So I kind of expected that. I could have prevented it. This was the first time that I hadn't had the waiting room open.
Mm-hmm.
So, usually you can set it so that the waiting room's open so I can always see who comes in. But I wasn't worried about it. I was hoping to be able to have folks, come in and out. That's the objective. You've been able to offer us some information. Hopefully our computers aren't hacked, and we'll be good to go.
It won't be. Usually it's like you look at it, it's only that one guy.
Yeah, I like good games anyway. So if they got a game or scam, I want to hear it through. Because I want to be on top of shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. I'm gonna head out of this chat. I'm gonna stop this recording, and then hopefully we'll be able to link up. And I guess just make sure you're saving this link wherever you got it from.
Yeah, we'll do.
Okay, awesome. Thanks a bunch.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you.